What's up, it's Cairo. Welcome back to Magic the Gathering for Beginners, the video series where we focus on introducing new players to the game and explaining some aspects of the game that can be confusing when you're in the beginner stage of playing Magic the Gathering. If you haven't seen the rest of the videos in this series, check out the link below for the entire playlist in the description. And if you like this video, please hit that like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about instants. What is an instant? An instant is roughly defined as a spell which never enters the battlefield, but instead generally has a one-time or a temporary effect and is then put into a graveyard from play. Examples of popular instants will be Shock, which deals 2 damage to any target, Counterspell, used to stop an opponent's spell from resolving or taking place, or Giant Growth, also referred to as a combat trick, which has an effect until the end of turn. If you're familiar with the sorcery spell type, you can think of instants much in the same way, with one massive difference. Instants can be played anytime that you have priority, including on your opponent's turn. Priority is something that we've covered in a previous video in the series titled What is the Stack? So if you'd like to learn about the stack and priority, check out that video. Moving on, it's generally good practice to keep instants in your hand until the last possible second that you need them. After all, knowledge is power, and denying your opponent knowledge can make the difference between a win and a loss sometimes. So let's take a look at a few instants and examples of how they should be played optimally. First, let's take a look at Shock. Shock, as we see, deals 2 damage to any target. A new player sees this and thinks, oh, I can use this to destroy a creature or deal damage to an opponent. And that's true, but when you do it matters more than you think. Let's say your opponent is attacking you with a Spitting Drake. As we can see, that's a 2/2 flying creature with the ability to boost its power for 1 red mana. It's tempting for a new player to just cast Shock on the opponent's turn to destroy the Spitting Drake outright and avoid taking damage, right? But what if we wait? Instead, they attack, we declare no blockers. That gives the opponent the opportunity to pay and increase the Drake's power. That ability then goes on the stack to resolve, and we cast Shock on the Drake after they pay that cost, but before it takes effect, destroying the Drake and making the opponent waste their precious mana. In this case, 1 red mana that they didn't want to waste. In this way, instants can be saved and timed for maximum benefit by catching your opponents off guard. Let's look at another popular instant spell, Giant Growth. We can see here that Giant Growth is an instant which gives a target creature +3/+3 until the end of turn. But when should we play Giant Growth? The answer is, well, it really depends, but generally, we want to follow the golden rule that says play it at the last moment that you can. New players may think, okay, sweet, I'll play this on my creature, and then I'll attack. But that's seldom the optimal play. By playing Giant Growth before attacking, you give your opponent all the knowledge that they need to make the best decisions they can regarding blockers, and you open up your creature to being removed before it can get that damage through, wasting your Giant Growth. The best play will be somewhere between after blockers are declared and before the end of combat. Let's look at an example. We'll say you control Grizzly Bears, a 2/2 creature, and the opponent controls a Centaur Courser, a 3/3 creature. By waiting to cast Giant Growth until after you attack and blockers are declared, you can make your opponent believe they'll be able to block your Grizzly Bears with the Centaur Courser and not lose their creature, since theirs is a 3/3 and yours, right now, is a 2/2. By playing Giant Growth after they declare their Centaur as a blocker, you temporarily boost your Grizzly Bears to 5/5, destroying their Centaur and leaving your Grizzly Bears alive for the next turn. By withholding that spell until the last second, you deny your opponent the ability to make informed decisions about what's going to happen. And speaking of denying the opponent things, let's talk about another popular instant spell, Counterspell. The instants we've seen so far deal directly with the board in that they either deal damage to a creature or a player, or they make creatures stronger. Some instants can interact directly with spells that have been cast but have yet to take place or resolve. A counterspell, typically found in the color blue, is a card you can hold in your hand until the opponent casts a spell. Before that spell hits the battlefield or resolves, you can play Counterspell on the opponent's turn and send that spell directly to the graveyard. Counterspells are different in that they're nearly always played on your opponent's turn, except for some weird circumstances outside the scope of this video. There are many other instants out there, but to sum it up, instants are very powerful tools that can win games sometimes by themselves, and learning when it's appropriate to play an instant spell is key to improving your game and also making sure that you're having as much fun as possible. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. It's free and it supports the channel. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, there is a link to those in the video description, as well as a link to the Magic the Gathering for Beginners Facebook group. Take care. I will see you for the next episode of Magic the Gathering for Beginners.